Hi, I'm Rebecca Hidalgo-Rains, and you're listening to Grateful Heart. I started this show to help educate my clients on the real estate market, and it's evolved into so much more. I've found that I love talking to people, and I love learning new things. While our expertise is still on the health of the housing market, we want to focus on the health and the well-being of our listeners as well. More specifically, where we reside in our hearts, in our minds, and in our homes. The biggest purchase in our life just isn't a house. It's where we raise our children, start a new business, pray for our loved ones, and follow our dreams. It's even where we listen to our favorite podcast. When we are successful at home, everything else just falls into place, and we are so grateful for that. Home is where the Grateful Heart is. Thank you for joining us today. Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Hidalgo-Rains with Grateful Heart TV, and in studio today I have all my sponsors. I will start with Tara Krieg of the TK team, Anthony Penna over here right next to me from Navi Title, and of course Joe Smith of Epic Mortgage. And we came to you guys a couple months ago with our market update. What's really cool is we're starting to get a following on this market update that apparently this last year we had more views on this market update. So we might know a thing or two. Just saying, or we just know that we don't know a thing or two. I don't know which one it is. But I do know our predictions from the last show I want to start today's show off with. So I'm just going to hit play. Tara already watched it, so she
give me
knows.
a price point that you think the average price is going to be on
Average
December
price
31st.
point, December 31st.
I think we're going to see a little pop. I'm going to go 576, Penna.
And then, you guys, just so you know, 575 was
more
his
optimistic
answer.
than you. Just saying.
Just a little.
So we have 571, 575, 576.
560.
560. Okay.
560, 5% appreciation year over year.
And I was the highest on everything, rate and price. So we'll see on December 31st who's paying for that steak dinner between the four of us.
That's why you're paying for my tomahawk.
Oh, gosh.
For the record, Penna paid.
I don't even know where he got the tomahawk thing. So now I digress. I'm going to go over to my slide from the Cromford Report. We will wait to see who actually won. We're always going to refer to the Cromford Report, but I have some other stats I wanted to share with you guys today. Today is the 19th of December. I'm dating this show because her argument is we should really wait till December 31st to announce the winner.
And why is that your argument?
Well, I think I'm going to win either way, or at least be close. But it's because home prices are starting to pick back up. We're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about that. Yes, we will. So today's market Cromford Index, just so you guys know, 100% is balanced. We have, at the worst of COVID, we were like at 700%. That meant we had 7 buyers for every one listing that we had.
It was wild.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy town. So we're back down to a balanced market as of today. So it's showing 104 for the market index. However, that said, our supply index is in the green at 65%, and our demand index is in the red at 68%. And what I want to point out is if you look at our supply is just barely going down right now. And that's because we're in December, folks. Rebecca hasn't taken too many new listings recently because it's the time of the year that if you haven't listed your home yet, the last thing you want to do is pack up the Christmas tree before Christmas. So I'm guessing most of what I'm looking at is simply because we're not getting more listings, we're not getting a lot of activity, not a lot to get excited about. But my lender partners here will have some things to talk about that is actually really exciting. Like we waited all year to talk about this, have we not?
We told you.
Who did we tell?
We told you.
It's happening. It's happening.
We told all your listeners.
That's
panic.
true. Not to panic. Things are going to start looking better. So all of that said, I did want to start today's show with Anthony and his stats and the countrywide stats, because normally I start going over all of our local, but I want to save the winner till the end of the show. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk national stats and just talk about the economy in general, because I've come across some cool articles. This is your arena, Penna, and you're actually in person. Oh my gosh. Can I just point out 11:11 on there right now? And that Anthony showed up in person because he is so sure he won today that he wanted to make us all eat crow in person.
But somehow I always win, but I always end up paying.
No, bullshit.
I think it's a
call
couple drinks you
bullshit
give me
on that.
before the
You're the
bill.
winner, Anthony. You're the winner.
I'm pretty sure I paid last year, just saying. But that said, Anthony, what does the whole country look like right now? What's going on out there with the market, the rates, the pricing?
I actually went a different mode for this
What?
class. We're going to do some data at the end, but I want to get into, like we talked about earlier in the class, with Tara.
Class? Okay,
class,
wait,
I mean,
class
podcast.
and DM?
It's kind of a class.
So
I
want everything. We do this show for a reason, and I appreciate you putting this on, because even though we're giving the correct data out there, data over drama, I want to get into what people's thoughts are, what's going on.
That's
and then
actually
talk about
really
the
good.
data.
Perception.
Because
self-fulfilling prophecies.
we keep on telling you not listen to the people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Fear is sells. And when you see the stats that have happened lately, it's a little bit scary, because we're going to get into. We're going to start off with.
What do you want me to do? You want me to
Do,
put it up?
it's not up there. It's not up there.
Why don't you? I can be your Vanna.
Okay.
Let me
No,
do
I got it
this.
right here. No, because I already do. Do you want to buy a home at some point in the future? 95.5% of Americans said yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's the American dream. I want to buy a home.
Yep.
That's great. And there should be that reason. Why should there be that reason? What do you guys think?
No, I think that most people have a desire to purchase, and I think those that don't, it's for personal. Either they travel, or they don't intend to be in the same place for an extended period of time.
11 straight years, America's best option, long-term investment,
Is real estate.
housing.
Yep.
Housing. Gold's number 2.
Shocker.
There's 11 straight years.
Yeah, above gold of all things.
Could you imagine if, like, the Eagles, who are pathetic right now, won the Super Bowl for 11 straight years?
No.
So
No.
that showed, like, 11
Are you still
straight
sad
years.
about last
Yeah.
year, Anthony?
I'm very
sorry.
bitter about that.
I know.
We'll get into that
Anthony,
later.
You
Sorry.
notice how I just put my head down and
Yeah,
turned
yeah,
to
yeah.
it?
Home ownership remains 74% people the American dream.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's all good, all positive, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
People are like all excited.
Let's-
Then we get down to what's the primary reason you want a home?
Why?
What was it? 60% emotional, lifestyle, pride of ownership, a place for me and my family to call
Security,
home.
probably.
Yep.
All emotional.
We all want to feel safe.
40%, even though it's very important, financial reasons. It's a great investment that builds wealth.
Yep.
This is all positive. Everyone wants this. But what happens?
I love having him here in person. He's like, "I'm gonna
Media.
say
What happens?
Let's do this. What
the
happens?
media gets involved.
Ah, the damn media.
And then when you talk about net worth, do you guys know that home ownership's 40 times greater net worth than a renter? For all you renters out there, 40 times greater.
Ooh, and I have some cool slides on renters today, too.
Data shows that.
Yeah.
So, did your articles about renting's better than buying?
No.
No. And reach out to Joe and Tara and Rebecca and please don't explain that why. So now we're getting the stats. Here's what's
Well, okay.
Ariel.
Let me just say one
Buying is
quick.
better than renting,
We're
Ariel.
working on Arrow right now. We're working on that. You never get wealthy renting. I've heard that for years and years and years. I just have to, repeat what you just said so much more eloquently than I did,
There's
Anthony.
a reason these wholesalers, investors make a lot of money because you're paying for them.
Yeah.
Correct? So here's what after all those positive stats, everything's great. Buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. So
Oh
lending,
no! I'm already cheating. I'm seeing what he's got coming for us.
Lending Tree did a survey.
Do we believe Lending Tree survey?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, they went after consumers, but this is Lending Tree survey.
Look at the two of Joe's
What,
like no.
what do clients think are coming in 2024? 35% of consumers are rooting for a housing crash.
Why?
Yes. So they can buy.
Okay, Joe, why do you
It's
think
the
that is?
renters. I was going to say, what is the demographics of the study?
Yeah.
They want a
because-
housing crash because
Anybody
they
who
want
already
these
owns-
prices to come down so they can get in, and then if they want it to go up so they can make money.
Well, everybody wants it to go up after they already
Greed.
own.
So they're rooting for that crash because they're
Yes.
hearing the news saying it's going to happen, foreclosure wave, people can't pay
And
their
they've been
bills.
waiting.
And I'll wait.
Yes.
I'll wait, and then I'll get the house lower than what I originally do.
Yes.
Guess
So
Good luck
what
with
happened last year?
that. Nope.
Didn't happen.
Nope.
No.
More than 2/5, 44%, are expecting the market to crash. 31% say they're uncertain. So you're saying 76% of people, after all the data we're giving, that is kind of true, are thinking the market's still going to crash.
You know why? Because 24% listen to us and the other 76 don't.
Could be. We need to reach out to the other
We need to reach out to
76%.
the others. And I say that because right now at the market, some people say, oh, you're just saying that because you're in the business. Let me confirm here. I don't sell real estate. I
Nope.
don't do loans.
I
I'm
do.
a neutral third party. We close them. I do things I do when I do my videos, posting. We come on the show. You do this one for the consumer. We look out for the consumer.
Right.
We've been saying all year, even with the negativity that's going on, and I think you asked us the last show, when's the best time to buy? And every one of us said yesterday.
Yep.
Even with rates at 7.8%, price is there. Why do we say that? Because we told you rates would be dropping. We said it's eventually going to happen. There's reasons why it happened. We said home prices aren't going to crash. We said there's not going to be a foreclosure wave. Well, guess what? Rates just dropped.
No
Wait,
foreclosure wave.
We are correct.
Okay.
We're correct. We're correct. We're correct.
But you know what?
So-
We're going to see who's the most correct at the end of this.
So everyone who waited, what's going to happen now? You are now going to pay a higher price for the home. More competition's going to come on the market.
But they may have lower rates, to be fair.
They're going to have lower rate, okay.
So let's throw that
you're
out
going to have
there.
less concessions.
Less concessions, more competition.
Maybe
higher
not the
price.
house you want.
Probably not the
Well,
house. You probably
lower-
don't get to sleep
You
on
don't-
it.
Yeah, it all has to do with inventory. So greater buyer demand, decreased inventory, you get less of those seller concessions. So those people who were able to take advantage of great negotiating, getting repairs on the house, and buying down that interest rate are still going to be able to refinance as those rates come
I
down.
saw a video yesterday on a guy, and it was his podcast, and I'm spacing his name, and he goes, homeowners who bought from December 1st of 2023 to January 13th of 2024 are going to be looked upon as the buyers who
Yes.
bought
At
When
the
they should have.
ideal time.
Geniuses.
COVID.
Brilliant.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
I saw that, and I was like,
I already
oh my
know
gosh.
that. That's
Yeah.
fact.
What can I go
Because
buy?
we've all appreciated.
And this happens almost every December, by the way.
Yeah.
So December is the best time to buy a house. And now you factor all this in too, it's really the best time to buy a house.
Well, they only have a couple more weeks. Not even a couple more weeks. We're going to be airing this on Christmas.
Here's the best one.
Oh, can I hold this like
Yes.
the poster child Havana? What does it actually say, guys?
Can you guys read it as the lenders?
Most Americans expect rates to increase for at least another year, while over half are worried rates will increase.
How many say that right there? How many? 79%.
79%.
Well, it's because all I've seen is this last year, the rates were going up until recently. So if they haven't been that 76% that isn't watching us are misinformed.
Well, it's a knee-jerk reaction, and we just talked about this. So in October, they're hearing rates hit the highest they've been since August of 2000, which was 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And from August to December, we're now saying, hey, rates are coming down. And I just think
a
we live
seasonality
in
of
it
the
every
market.
day. They don't. And so
Yeah.
it's important for us to communicate that information
I
in real time.
always bring up, and I get it, and Joe sent this to us last year at the beginning of the year. Do you want to bet against the champ?
Oh, yes, I love that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe, you want to explain what bet against the champ is?
The champ is that it's going to happen. It's the value of the properties are going to go up. The rates will come down. It's all a cycle, and you can't bet against it.
What was it, 73, 5, and 1?
Yeah,
73.5.
years that real estate
The
has
real estate
increased.
has increased.
And out of those 5 years, I think 4 were during 2008 to 12.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's
Well,
that
and
tell
we
you?
explained the analytics behind the reason for that, and it wasn't, it jumped right back up, right?
Yeah.
We just had excess inventory.
So this might be jumping ahead because you might do this prediction later, but then the next 3 things were trying to get
I'll
in
be
the
your
market.
Vanna again.
It's like for all of us, what's next for mortgage rates? My opinion is they're going to continually drop a little bit. After the January 31st meeting, I see rates in the high 5s. Below
Yeah,
that
stabilizing.
6 number. Stabilizing in that
Ooh,
6
that
number.
gets me so excited. You hear that?
That's my opinion.
Okay, so the show's not over
Okay.
yet.
So-
We still have to take a commercial break. In fact, we're going to come right back. Hold tight, you guys.
If you're looking for a mortgage, you need a personalized plan, not a click button get mortgage option. My team and I have saved families thousands by proactively planning their home purchase or a refinance. Buying a home is a huge decision and it deserves a strategic approach. My team and I provide a comprehensive mortgage plan, including a complete credit analysis outlining the steps needed to improve your credit score and help you qualify for the best rates and terms in the market. Visit us at tkteam.us today. We'll ensure you get the best guidance so you can make the best decisions. The TK Team, moving you forward.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Hidalgo-Rains with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and I've been selling homes here in the Valley for over a quarter of a century. I want to say that experience truly matters, so when you're looking for a realtor to help you either buy or sell your biggest purchase of your life, I hope you'll consider using me. My experience doesn't matter near as much as my clients, so I do dare you to Google me, and I promise you'll see nothing but fantastic reviews because I really do truly care to help navigate you and your family to the very best experience you'll ever have with buying a home.
Have you been thinking about buying a new house or refinancing your existing mortgage? Interest rates are still around historically low levels. Why pay a higher rate when you don't have to? Call Joe Smith, me, at Epic Mortgage LLC, 602-741-4121 for a free mortgage quote or pre-qualification. Epic Mortgage LLC is a locally owned, independent mortgage brokerage that provides low-cost options for its customers. Independently owned means low overhead, so you get the best rates, fees, and service. Keep more of your money. Brokers are better. Realtor recommended for over 20 years? Contact me, Joe Smith, at Epic Mortgage today, 602-741-4121.
Whether purchasing a home or refinancing, we know you have choices when it comes to choosing a title company. Navi Title Agency is the leading source for all title, escrow, and marketing needs. With access to the largest title insurance underwriter, Navi Title facilitates successful closings and protects clients from fraud. Creating solutions that save time and money for everyone, ask your realtor or loan officer today about using Navi Title on your next real estate transaction. Navi Title Agency is locally owned and operated in the state of Arizona.
All right, so Fired Up Penna wants to quickly chase to the end of the show. Before we went to commercial break, he asked, what's next for mortgage rates? Where are home prices headed? I had to cut you off because that's the second half of this show. And is there a recession around the corner? Let's answer all four of us, the whole recession thing. I think that's kind of a no-brainer with the four of us in this room. However, Joe, how do you feel about the whole recession thing?
I don't care. So
explain that, because
So-
that's actually a
Perfect
really good answer.
the fact if there's going to be a recession or if there's not going to be a recession, it's not going to influence really what most of us do. So we've already been through
I feel like we've been through it.
cycles of technically
A recession.
recession-ish,
Right.
right? So we've already gone through that. So you're going to go through it again, and maybe it's 2 quarters in a row, it could be, but you still won't feel it as much. So this recession that they're doing is really, it's going to be a paper recession.
Well,
It's
and
not
home
going to be
prices
a
don't
regular
come
recession.
down during recessions. So
Recession
the
does
idea that a
not cause a
recession
housing
is
crash.
going to cause house prices to go down. If anything, a recession would cause interest rates to come down at a more rapid pace,
Which then will,
put upwards pressure on home prices.
and if we don't have enough houses built,
Then
we're
you're
back,
back
to
in a bidding war.
prices.
Here we go.
We're back
Yeah.
to prices being stupid.
The news and your YouTube specialist isn't going to tell you that. But
Your YouTube specialist.
I'm laughing because literally an economist posted that in 2024 we're going to have the biggest crisis, downturn, recession, and then literally 2 other news articles, and this is Anthony's favorite thing to do, posted that we are having the soft landing they hope for, and that home prices, blah, blah, blah. And so at the end of the day, it's where you get your news.
Are
It
you
doesn't
reading
even
from the
apply to
example?
you.
Phone right
look,
now.
this is the stuff I get DM'd to me. Read what I just got DM'd to me.
I don't have my glasses on. U.S.
US
economist predicts
2024 will be that's the
biggest
one I'm
crash
talking
of our
about.
lifetime.
Yes, it was sent
And
to
I
me
just
this
got
morning.
it sent to me.
Yes, it was
Okay.
sent to me this morning too. And then
Perfect
you know what I
timing.
responded with? 2 additional articles that projected for housing prices growth and low interest rates.
So what does that just show you is you can't believe shit in the news.
But
No.
can you understand why
Attention seekers, they have
consumers
other
are confused?
agendas.
they totally
Yes.
have, and
Other
we can
agendas.
angle it any which way we want. But Rebecca's going to show you guys some stats. I'm so excited. All right, well, AZ Big Media. We're going to talk AZ now, okay, guys? This one was talking about where economists, experts say Arizona is headed and why it looks so good and buoyant for Arizona.
Buoyant.
So, yeah, buoyant. So if we talk about interest rates improving, and everybody likes to come to Arizona for many reasons that this article talks about, all the jobs that are here, all the everything that's here. All I can tell you is we'll share this article on our page. So as a show extra, so you guys can read everything that it talks about in here, because there's so many nerdy stats about jobs and growth. We all know Arizona's a freaking fantastic place to
People
live.
used to come here just to retire. That's
Oh.
why people came here for the sun, and now they're coming for they're forever coming
everything.
for the sun, but now they're coming for jobs,
jobs.
too.
Well, yeah, and it's not just travel industry like it was
everybody.
when the market crashed
Yeah.
15 years ago. It's, robust in every front. In fact, I saw an article yesterday, third quarter of last year, we added 12 million square feet of commercial built space.
Yeah.
That's huge in one quarter in our valley.
Huge.
So what I thought was really interesting, you guys, every show I always I know, this guy.
That's funny.
I know, he's the best. I'm always bringing up the Cromford stats, and we're going to still use the Cromford because it wouldn't be fair to switch up the stats. But I thought this was really cool because in this thing that came from ARMLS, which is our Arizona Regional MLS, this is how us realtors share our listings. They're talking about price points, they're talking about average price point, which is weird to me because we don't talk about price points per square foot here in Arizona like we do in other places in the country. But see, what I did is I scrolled, and I kept scrolling until I got to page 17 of 18. And you know what I found on page 17 and 18 that I thought was so fascinating? Oh, wait. 2/3 of mortgages are at rates below 4%, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that. Largest discrepancy between current and effective mortgage rates since 1976. So again, this is more like negative stuff, and I'm not going to focus on that at all. But I want to get to page 17 because 17, sales price forecast, our current average sales price of 2022 to 2023. What does it say up there, guys? And again, this is not the one that's giving us the final answer. But $576 a square foot for average, and we didn't do median, we did average.
578.
Yeah, 578, sorry. I know, but remember we said we weren't going to use this one. So don't get carried away, Joe. So what I wanted to point out about this is, stats are only good if they scrub the data. So this is coming from Arizona Regional MLS. Now, this was another thing I thought was really cool. We talked about renters earlier, did we not?
Yes, we did.
So May of 2020, where was it? The 1400, there it is. May of 2021, which I would say all four of us will agree, May of 2021 was pretty much the brutalest of the brutal. When we saw 50,000 grand above,
Over list.
Yeah.
waiving
It was
appraisals,
bad.
letting people stay in houses for 2 months
Yep.
free. The average square footage of a rental house in that time period was $14.90. We're down to $22.49 right now. So what I thought was kind of cool about the rental situation is this is when people were paying everything they could to get into anything they could, right? And if they weren't buying, they were renting. So they were having to rent a much smaller house than they do today for the same amount of money, because we're talking average rents here. So what that tells me is the rental market has gotten a little soft. Why is that? You talked about renters earlier. My idea, I'm just going to throw this out there, is there might be some people who've moved back home, combined units, and they're all waiting for next year. 'Cause-
Multifamily.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me why. Look at the discrepancy in just a couple years of 1490 to 2200 square feet. That's a huge difference, you
Well,
guys.
Square
it's an
feet?
explanation. No, it's the cost, right?
cost.
1490 versus 2249, essentially.
Oh, no.
Monthly rent.
Closed rental
No,
units
closed
per month.
units. That's units
That's
closed.
the volume. of
Okay, so
rentals.
you're saying there was 1,490 active rentals or closed rentals that rented, and now there's
Do you see how I'm trying to
2,200.
push the scroll up? Median lease 2,095, average lease 22,456, average days on market 44, rent quotient. There's two units per person right now. The rental market appears to be incredibly soft.
So I'm gonna lob something out.
Throw it out there because I know you own rental
I
properties,
do.
Joe.
So I feel like maybe some tenants are staying in their rentals a little longer because it's harder to move and find another place. And then the other piece is that registers, you have to list on ARMLS to be registered, right? So maybe there's more realtors who were a little slower back in the day who are now soliciting these rentals and rental agreements and getting them into the ARMLS to get them rented, where maybe they would just put a little bandit sign on the corner that says I'm
Rent it out
trying to rent it.
privately.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
Maybe.
And that
I
could be
just
something.
think it's interesting, and I want to continue the conversation as the year continues to see what are our renters doing, because it's really our first timers who don't own that missed out, that haven't bought yet, what are they doing?
My belief, I feel like that number should be going down. I feel like there should be more rental units going away than buying. I know on our side, we're doing a few investment properties deals, but not a lot.
But if you look at that chart, it is trending down for the 4 months in a row.
And
Yes.
I feel like that's
So-
the way it will go because people are going to be taking profits out of their rentals because they're like, I've done this for 3 years, 4 years. Like, not everybody's a landlord for life. They just want to be a landlord for a few years, then they sell it, but they don't buy another one.
So let me throw this out at you and see if we can figure out this conundrum. Average home size in square feet from new build construction from 2015 to 2024. We were building houses at 2,500 square feet on the average. Today they're down to 2,200 square
Because they're
feet.
building them on half the size of the lot.
Yeah,
So
they're-
everything's smaller.
Affordable.
And
building.
not only everything's smaller, and they're getting
Yes.
the same price.
And they're getting the same, well, they're getting more.
They're getting more.
But we're talking average prices
And
here.
they're like this close together.
Right.
Right.
So but is it that we're becoming minimalist? We don't need as much as we used to? Like, I'm just kind of wondering
price
whole
to build?
psychologist,
No,
the
the
psychology
builder-
behind
the
all
builder-
this.
Builders are
adding
getting
more
more
units
lots
per-
per acre.
Well, it's a higher density.
And they make
Yes.
like how much they make off each new build? Like, was it
A lot.
a lot?
Well,
you know,
they're-
every builder
yeah.
is different, and the market's going to dictate that. But one thing, okay, so to talk about that, it's really interesting. We have a flip right now in Mesa for those of you guys in Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert. And Mesa, and I just noticed this off of Brown and Lindsay, the area that we've been running around more frequently. And, you know, for many years I was down in South Chandler and Gilbert. The density in South Chandler and Gilbert has made like traffic terrible.
Yeah.
You know, the shopping's crowded. People are cranky.
Yeah.
You go drive around North Mesa where all these lots are massive.
Big, yeah.
And the streets are empty and the stores are easy to get in and out of. I'm like, holy shit, I need to keep buying properties in Mesa. But to the point, this is all newer construction. So the homes that have been built more recently are Chandler and Gilbert because Mesa's been landlocked
Well,
for
in
so
Queen
many
Creek,
years.
if you drive out to Eastmark, Queen Creek,
Oh, yeah.
Cadence, all of those houses, Fulton, are on
They're getting
much
smaller lots and smaller houses
Correct.
for the average. So I was just kind of curious if it's a mental psychology thing. People just don't want as big of a house anymore, maybe to cool it because there's cost to be considered with that.
I think the efficiency of the space has changed too. I think people have formal family rooms and formal dining rooms, and I think there's less of a demand for that today.
Well, I think there's a lot of interesting things going on out there. So I just want to throw some things out there to get your guys' brains, you know, still working before Christmas because I know this next week, pretty much after today, nobody's working
It's a
anymore.
wrap.
It's a wrap. Listings under contract.
Separation season.
As of December 22nd versus December of 23, homes under contract really this year are less than even last year. So that's surprising because
Yeah.
the interest rates have been dropping. Oops, wait a minute. I think I got one more slide in here. Oh, there it is. This one is a Cromford that shows which cities are the hottest and which ones aren't. Chandler's still the #1 city in the valley.
Going back up.
Going
so,
back
so it's
up
got a positive
this last
number.
month. It
Got
went
a
back
Positive
up.
number,
Yeah.
yeah.
Scottsdale went back up even though it's only 1 point. You know, Paradise Valley actually appreciated 14% year over year.
That's a huge number, by the way, in
That's
Paradise
an,
Valley.
of
Paradise
course, you
Valley.
think about that. So
Yeah.
why is that, you guys? I'm looking at my lender partners and you. I think I know the answer, but I'm curious what you guys think.
Well, Paradise Valley does mostly cash. So
Bingo.
they're willing to pay a little bit more to get what they want.
Well, they see right now is a good time to buy and they have the cash to do it.
Right.
And so I think personally that's why Paradise Valley was so high. But, you know, it's really interesting when you look at Maricopa, Buckeye, Queen Creek.
Opportunities.
These are perfect opportunities. That's
Yep.
what I was about to say. There's that saying in real estate, drive till you can qualify. These are the 3 areas where you have most builder competition.
Yep.
And these would be the 3 areas that I would focus on for a brand new buyer. Never bought a house before. They're going to get better deals. And areas down here where the Cromford index is now at 64, which is a full 40 points lower than the average. But you come up here to Chandler, you might be competing for that nice house still.
And that will
Even though
cha-
it's December.
Those top 6 will be about the same top 6 for
Ever.
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 Like because they're getting landlocked.
Yep.
Yep.
And you just can't buy more, and they're very desirable, and that's where people want to be.
So one commentary that Tina said this past week that I read that I thought was really interesting is even though the rates have been going down, you're not seeing it in the marketplace. So again, is that just everybody waiting until after the first of the year? I feel like we talked about that last
Yeah.
night. And I am kind of curious what everybody here thinks because listings under contract, the demand is still, even though the rates have come down, I think we were all expecting the minute that they came down that we would have the phones just ringing off the hook, and it hasn't happened.
Well,
People
that
have
for
to believe it, right?
Yes.
They just like the rates were going up, people didn't believe it for like 30, 45 days. Then they called and they're like, well, what do you mean it's 7.5? Like, yeah, man. What do you mean it's not 5? Yeah, it's not 5, it's 7.5. It's going to take 30 to 45 days for them to really understand
Well, and they're
that it
picking up
happened.
the phone right now, but they're having a conversation today, and they're putting a plan in place, and they're going to be spring home buyers. That's
Right.
what that looks like.
Or you're going to have those people who were at 7.5 saying, I'm going to wait till they drop under 7. Now that they dropped to 6.6, well, I'm going to wait till they dropped under 6 now.
Yeah.
Right.
See, but
And then when it drops under 6, I'm going to wait till they drop
but
under
if they
4.
keep waiting,
Yes.
the prices are going to just
Thank
exponentially
you.
They don't know that,
skyrocket.
though.
They don't know that,
understand
though.
Yes.
That's why you talk to a professional.
So that is why you talk to professionals. So the professional today is going to educate our class on the fact that right now we have listings under contract 5,900, even less than last year. And supposedly last year everybody was really kind of concerned and worried what was going on. This time last year we were at 6,200. So it's not that big of a difference, but it's noticeable. Last month we had 6,100 units. Last quarter we had 7,200 units. But sales per year, 72,000. Not that bad, but not that good. 2 years ago,
It's a 20% drop.
more than that. At 110%, or 110 units, we closed 2 years ago. The year
But
last
2
year.
years ago, that wasn't a normalized
It was the
market.
unicorn
You have to
years.
go back to
Unicorn years.
2019.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
So 87,000, which was last year, is actually more in line.
With 19.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And today's Cromford Index is at 104, which shows a pretty balanced
Yes.
market. So overall, days on market, that doesn't concern me. We've always been floating around 90 for the most part.
Yep.
And I mean, I've been doing this for long enough to be able to say that. And then to have 3.6
It's
months.
ideal.
Yeah, last
the
year is
same.
exactly
Yeah, it's a match.
3.6 months. So if we are 4 to 5 months, that's perfect,
Can
honestly.
you get in, like you're talking about the unicorn years 2021?
Uh-huh.
What was the months of supply and market? What was it? You're talking 3.6?
So, ooh!
Look at that.
It's
0.7.
less than 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah.
7.
It got down to like
ago.
2 weeks. It was the lowest I
And
saw.
normally you look at yesterday to predict tomorrow.
Yes.
But I don't think we can. Because if we look at yesterday to try to predict tomorrow, we all know next year we have an election year. So people get all squirrely
Right.
and crazy about that. And then everything that's been going on with our economy.
There's always something.
It does feel like that, does it not? There's always an
Always
excuse for
something.
those that are fence sitting. There's always an excuse for the naysayers. But 8.2% appreciation
Let's go.
over year over
That's
year.
awesome.
But wait, I'm confused though, because I think, didn't Goldman Sachs say it was going to drop 25%?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, he
I just
did.
wanted to confirm that, ask him for a friend.
So the friend who bought 2 years ago paid 100% of list price. The friend who buys today is paying 97% of list
Right.
price. So that's pretty good. Listing success rate, we're at 69%, which is a little on the lower side, what we saw last quarter and last year, but it is
But
December.
we were at 62% last
Last
year,
year.
so not
Yeah.
uncommon for the season.
No. I mean, 90% was unheard of. That never used to
Right.
happen. But the average price, was $571.
Were you 575?
I was 571.
You were not.
I was exactly 571.
That's why she wanted to call here.
That's it.
There it is.
And
I'm very happy
Bow
for
down.
you.
Yeah, well, I
You
will
know what's
say-
funny about that?
Yeah,
I'd like to see it at the end of the
So
year. I'm
last
calling
quarter-
a revote.
bullshit. We're not doing that. I won, fair and square. But
Go
I am
ahead.
going to say last quarter we were at 550.
Uh-huh.
And that's about when we said, hey, what's it going to look like? And then that time period, I think I was the most optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
But these two actually went in a little bit higher. So I kind of landed somewhere in the middle with that. I felt like 5%
So
year over
so
year.
you're saying prices went up.
Yes. And you know what I do believe? That I think they're going to go up again next year,
Yes.
Anthony.
Oh.
And I think there's pent-up demand.
Absolutely.
I believe, personally, 600 is going to come
Becky,
and go.
when you say next year, I'm going to say February.
Well, that's where I'm going with that.
Yes.
I think
In the next
600
3 months, it's going to go
600
like
is
that.
going to come and go like that.
Because
See,
we're
I'm gonna-
already
I'm
in a
gonna-
balanced market.
I'm going to counteract your claim a little bit earlier, where you were thinking when rates went down
571.
there's not any activity. I know your phone's ringing. I know your
Well, I'm not
phone's
saying
ringing.
any.
I know people who had houses sitting with no activity that had crap load of activity this weekend.
Well, it's funny. I had an agent say the house sat for 38 days, 30 days, nothing, then 3 offers.
And
It's like, why do you think those buyers jump back in the market? And we did it. We took houses clients had gotten payment scenarios on, decided to wait because rates hit 8% in October. And we said, hey, we just want to let you know this is where you would be today on that same house. And it gets people off the fence.
So getting into what you said about people just waiting. If you're looking to buy and you can do it right now,
Right.
maybe
Do
not
it.
wait till January
Hurry up.
2nd.
Right.
Hurry up and do it now before the end of the
So-
year because price just, yeah.
So I will say this.
I love
Usually,
the show.
traditionally, I love it too. In 2 weeks, we're going to have probably the biggest listing day ever.
I think
'cause
so, too.
typically,
Oh, and Happy New Year
January.
to everyone who expires on January 1st,
Yes.
the phone calls you get. Happy New Year.
You're welcome. I never let mine expire on that day. But I don't let them expire ever. But that said, I do think we'll have a lot more inventory in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think so too.
And as a result, there'll be a lot more for the buyers to pick from. Buyers, don't wait till your tax refund. Do not wait till the spring season. Do not wait for rates to drop again. These two are happy to refinance you. I am promising you rates will not impact us as bad as prices will come the beginning of the
Agreed.
year. And because this tells me we're going to be back to, I mean, I already showed you guys in Chandler.
Yep.
You already, it's not a slam dunk to get a house in Chandler today.
It's already going up. It's
It
already started.
It already has.
Yeah.
So if you think you missed the boat, you kind of did.
Well,
By
and-
not buying this past year, if you are still renting.
And seasonality. We were at 150 on the Cromford just last quarter.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's going to be in the spring.
Well, we already know it's ramping up. I hope we never get back to 380 on
Me
the
too.
Cromford because that's just Looney Tune.
That was
you know.
crazy.
It's not
None of
fun
us
for
enjoy it.
anybody involved in the transaction.
No,
Not even
nobody-
the sellers.
No,
Tina didn't even like saying it on her Cromford call. She
no,
was just
it was terrible.
429.
It was crazy.
I mean,
And
no,
there's a head
actually-
shake on the end of that.
I don't know if we actually, and I think PV's was
It
up
did
at
hit
700 right now on their Cromford index. That's how hot PV is. But I think the average was like 570 something at the highest of the average for
And
across
guess
the
what else
board.
happens in Phoenix market January, February? We have a
Oh,
lot of
a
out-of-towners.
lot
A lot of
It's
action.
So much
Lot of
fun
action.
Between,
Dan, guess what? Those people come in and guess what they want to do once they come in?
They want to buy a house because it's so freaking
Yes.
nice here.
Yes.
I'm just, ever soon as you say that, I'm like, oh, Phoenix Open, or whatever it's called now.
Yes.
Sitting out, getting sun at the end of January, getting a tan, while the rest of the country is freezing their butts off. Okay, I see the clock is starting to tick down.
No.
We already know I won this whole competition.
Recount.
In case you weren't sure,
In
Rebecca
case you didn't
won.
know,
We're going
I
to give her
won.
2 weeks.
Tara and I are calling for a recount 2 weeks.
Whatever. All right.
When you're
it
asleep
feels like an
overnight.
election year, right? Does it not feel like an election year?
You know what? I think I was 560, so I'm pretty sure I lost either way.
Tara's out.
you were. So 560.
Negative Nancy. She's out.
575, she's out. 575,
Negative Nancy's out.
576. We do not play the prices right, but I landed it right on there. But if we wanted to
I'm
follow
gonna get there.
Joe, we're going to get
ARMLS,
there in 2 weeks.
578 was on the other report. So if you guys want to claim a winning on that one, you can, even though we know they don't scrub their data. So data is key. So what predictions do we have for next year? So we have a great soundbite for the next episode.
Yeah.
All right, so the next episode, let's shoot for sometime 2 months from now would be end of February. What does
Yeah.
it look like end of February? We're going to be thinking spring breaks coming up ahead. People take off.
Spring training.
Yeah, spring training. Lots of people in town.
Yep.
So by the end of
We
February,
might all be too busy to do the show at the end of February.
well, you're definitely not driving down from across town to sit with us in person. That's going to be for sure. But you're always welcome. It was fun having you here today, Anthony, in person. Usually we pick on you and say how tan you look because your camera lighting's terrible.
Well, I never believed that Joe actually wore shorts. I thought he looked really nice.
Oh.
So I
Stand
had
up,
to come
Joe.
and see
Come
in
on.
person.
Stand up, Joe.
See in
It
person
happens.
what's
It
really
happens.
happening
Even
here.
in the middle of December.
Even in the middle of
Always.
December.
It's 80 today.
Oh, and it's 77, whatever it is. Okay.
It
so-
was raining on the way here.
I know, isn't that crazy? Joe, where do we think we're going to be, rates or prices, and both by the end of February?
So by the end of February, I feel that we're going to see the first Fed move. It's going to happen, and they're going to announce that they're going to lower it more. Not necessarily because we need to, because they're going to manipulate the information, but because it's an election year, and we need to have lower rates to make everybody happy about
feel
what's
good.
going on and feel good, because everybody hates the economy for some reason. I don't know
That's
why.
why gas is under $3.
But
know,
everybody
isn't that
hates
insane?
it. And then they're
Yes.
going to announce that we're not going to lower it by 3 times. We're going to actually lower it 5 times in the next year, right up till November. and the rates will come down. So I think we're going to be somewhere in the mid to high 5s for interest rates.
By February, end of February?
Check. And
Cool. That's
I-
aggressive.
I am confirming that.
And
Double check.
And I believe that house
Are we going
prices
double or nothing on this bet?
are going to spike, and the demand is going to spike. All these people who are sitting on the sidelines, we get over 200 people a day who move to Maricopa County.
250.
250 now, and they want to buy a house, but
Yeah.
they're not, but they will.
They
and
will.
that's happening, and the prices are going to go bananas.
Tara?
Bananas.
Bananas.
I think that we are going to see probably a 5% appreciation over the next 60 days. And I think that rates are actually going to settle in the high 5s. I think that we're looking good, but I think we're going to be like 5.5, 5.75
Okay.
on average 30-day fixed.
So 5.5, 5.75. You already concurred with him. Do you have
I'm
anything else?
concurring him 5.5,
Do you have
5.75.
anything else to add?
But I would like to add that if you see the experts now nationwide, they were predicting next year to be around 3.7 million, maybe 4 million home sales in the country next year. They're now predicting 4.7 million.
So of those, what I wonder is how many of them are new construction? Because that, to me, is the biggest problem we have, is we have a housing shortage.
But there is a shortage, but I also want to, like, you remember on our last show we talked about, I think you brought it up, either one of you, that if rates get to 6, it's going to bring 4 million buyers to the market nationwide. Did they do a stat if rates go to 5.5?
Right.
Oh, it's going to be stupid.
Triple.
Right.
So I'm just throwing that out there
So-
for you waiting right now.
You
Right.
guys, let me just throw out there, and this is why I bring up the builders. Right now, there's builders giving away incentives.
Yep.
There's right now builders who have homes ready to buy today. I'm just rewinding 2-3 years ago where there was waiting list, build times of over a
Yes,
year. Lotteries, and all kinds of bullshit that was going on with the new home industry. And I love new homes. I'm all about building houses. I think we need to build more of them. But what I'm going to tell you, if you want new, not an existing home, call me right away. Don't wait, because after the first year, they have all kinds of crazy incentives right now because of Christmas.
This might sound like commercial, but I had a few people reach out to me lately who have bought new builds. And they are going bonkers because of the new build lender.
Oh, their lenders are terrible.
So I'm just
I
saying
know.
this for you.
Call these guys.
Call these guys because the incentives they give you, they're going to double charge you on fee. Like what these people are going through is ridiculous.
There's nothing for free, Mr.
There's nothing
Penna.
for. So I'm saying
Captive
that.
audience is what that's
I'm just
about.
saying that for your benefit, consumers. Don't the builder. Yeah, great house, great incentives. The lender incentive is not worth it from what I've been hearing.
So let me just throw this out there for you guys. Because the rates are starting to come down, you two are going to be able to compete a lot better with those big builders that are, buying up gobbles of money. Because
Yep.
guess what? Their money's getting stale and the rates have come down. So you guys are on
Yeah.
a better playing field with that.
Yeah, which is really nice to see. And for those clients who did have to use the builder's lender, they're in a position to, as rates come down, refinance out of those loans and get into a better situation, which is great.
Great point.
Well, and I do want to throw out there, so the reason why the builders, I've worked with builders for years, I'm beginning a building company myself. The reason why builders have preferred lenders is because they have to have somebody watch their back.
Control.
Right.
Yeah, it's hey, there's 20 buyers that came through, 3 of them are lying, and they will never be able to buy a house, but their lender says they can, so they just use it to vet.
Yeah.
They have to have that there. So I don't want it to make it sound like every builder lender's terrible, but when it's a captive audience and they know it, they don't work as hard as you two.
Well, no, and you know what's
You
interesting?
two work your butts off.
We had a client that was working with us and not the preferred builder's lender. And I said, you know what? I said, they're doing this for new people coming in and they didn't do it for you. So you should go back to the builder and tell them, you
Yeah.
want this amount of seller credit for temporary interest rate buy down.
If you're in escrow right now, that is actually beautiful advice,
But
Sarah.
guess what? That builder's lender, they said, nope, we won't do it for an outside lender, but we'll only do it if you use our lender. But their in-house lender would have never made that recommendation because their commitment, their loyalty is to the
Yeah.
builder. So I think it is important
To
to
shop.
still have the conversation and shop around and make sure you have somebody fighting on your behalf.
Agreed. So all of that said,
Yeah.
did I actually give my prediction?
Prediction? No, I think you. I
love
think
how
you did not.
I purposely do that at the very end. So this is what my prediction is. I think by February, I think we're going to appreciate. But I don't think 5%. I think that's super aggressive. I do think that we may hit right now we're at 571 for average. I do think that we'll hit 600 by May. But I think come February, the spring season hasn't hit yet. So even if the rates are dropping, I don't think enough people are going to drive that price point up. I actually think we're going to be at 585. But rates, if they actually hit 5.5, I could be totally wrong on that. So it's really going to be rate sensitive. I think we're going to be closer to 6.
So if rates come down 1%, how much buying power do they have?
Well, you know better than I do.
10% more.
Yeah.
So
I'm like,
for
don't make me
me,
do that math
in
in
my
my head.
mind, if rates came down from 8 to mid 5s, a 5% appreciation is nothing. And
It's
so
nothing,
I really
but
think
it's a matter of
timing.
Timing. This
Yes.
is where I'm coming from with it. Is I
Yes.
don't think enough people are going to be awake from Christmas and not hungover.
Yeah.
Because what happens in January? Legitimately, January is always my slowest year,
Yeah.
or slowest month of the
Slowest
year.
month.
Till Martin Luther King weekend.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, as I ramp up getting closer to spring break, we start feeling the momentum.
Yes,
we start
spring
feeling
home
better.
buying.
If I get busy in February, I know it's going to be a killer spring. If I don't get busy till March, then typically it's not as crazy. So this is where I just think our buyers have been listening to the doom and gloom for so long. I personally think it's going to take past February to pull them out of it.
pull them out.
Unless it hits 5.5. So I'm giving that caveat that I could be completely wrong, but I'm at $585 price and I'm saying 6% interest.
You're
I'm
starting
higher
to
than
see
you guys.
in the media a little bit too. Not that I follow the media, but we all have to, right? You'll for the last year, rates are going up, right? They're doom and gloom. It's the other way now. If you click on MSN or whatever,
Are they starting to be more
they're
positive?
all saying
well, they're
rates
all
are coming
saying
down,
rates are
rates are
coming
coming
down.
down,
Isn't
rates
that
are
so
coming down.
interesting?
So
It's the election
it's an
year.
election year, guys.
Yeah.
they're letting everybody know that the rates are coming down,
Yes.
which is going to eventually everybody sees it and they start to believe it, just like they believed it the other way.
So I think they'll come
and
out.
they're going to come out.
March and April. So we'll see come end of February how right I am or how
Well,
wrong I am.
and I think it's worth saying, I think that there's other motivating factors on the getting the rates lower because there's a bunch of commercial stuff coming due and they need to get those rates down before those balloons. So I think that we will see those come down faster.
Well,
we'll see.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. It was lots of fun. My sponsors and Anthony coming in person was a great time, and I can't wait for my steak dinner.
Hey, to the people listening, drop Rebecca a line what restaurant we should go celebrate Tara and Joe paying for dinner.
Awesome. We're out. Have a good one.
Oh, I love it.
What a great show, and thank you for joining us on our mutual journey to becoming unharmable and successful in all of our experiences while we're here in this school of life. We hope you enjoyed it. If you watched us on YouTube, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Likewise, if you're catching us on one of our podcast platforms, be sure to follow us so you never miss out on another one of our shows again. Remember that if you ever have a question about real estate or any of the other topics we cover, check us out on the web, www.gratefulheart.tv, for all of our links to connect with us.
I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. I'm on vacation every single day, every single day.